Good morning, class. Today, we're going to talk about something really, really cool. Probably my favorite area of all of the many parts of biology. You ever wondered why giraffes have such huge necks? Or why owls can turn their heads all the way around? Or why ants always follow each other in a line? Better than you guys do, at least, that's for sure. Well, the reason, class, is because of something called adaptations. And today, that's exactly about what we are going to talk. So, what are adaptations? Basically, adaptations are just the changing of traits that allow an organism to better live in its current environment. So what does this mean? Well, we all make little adaptations all the time. Think about just over a month ago, right before you started school. I bet there's no way you woke up anywhere near as early as you have to every single day for school now, right? So then when school started and you did have to start waking up really early, what did you hopefully do? Well, you hopefully started going to bed earlier, right? That's an adaptation right there. It's a change in your behavior that helps you to better survive in your environment. Now, the type of adaptations about which we are talking today are behavioral. Behavioral adaptations are those about which we just spoke. These are things that an organism does to help it survive. Pause the video here and write down that behavioral adaptations are things that an organism does to help it survive. Think about birds, for instance. When it gets cold way up north, where do birds go for the winter? South. It's because at some point they realized that they could not live in the cold. They needed to do something in order to survive the winter. So what did they do? They went south, somewhere that's warmer, somewhere that they could survive. Or think about a skunk, for example. Ever smelled a skunk when it sprays? Disgusting, right? No one wants to be around that thing. Well, skunks don't just randomly spray their nasty smelling stuff wherever they think it'd be funny. It's actually a behavioral adaptation. They at some point realized that other animals don't like being around that smell at all. So whenever they feel as if they're in danger from a predator, they'll simply spray their stink and be protected from danger, because the predator will often flee. Maybe a little cooler than you thought it was before, huh? Ever see how penguins hang out in packs like that? Well, that's because they're huddling for warmth. They live in the super cold Arctic tundra, so at some point they also learned, that they could use each other's body heat for warmth by simply huddling together like that. Or what about these dolphins? They seem to be hunting all those little fish above them, right? But why do you think they're hanging out in packs too? Well, it does benefit them, just not in the same way that hanging out in packs benefits penguins. These dolphins, at some point, learned that hunting was way easier if they attacked their prey in teams and split the food than if each individual dolphin just tried to catch its prey by itself. Dolphins actually are really, really, really smart animals. Now lastly, there's always the classic example of the bear hibernating. Believe it or not, bears are actually herbivores, so they eat mostly nuts and berries. Well, in the winter, nuts and berries don't grow. So what do you think bears do for food? Well, in order to conserve their energy, bears at some point learned how to hibernate, which means they go into a really, really deep sleep all winter long. Then they just wake up in the spring, and there's food again. Crazy, huh?